So welcome back to AOR F1 2018 on the PlayStation 4. Tier F9, we've just had qualifying now. The guys are just on their formation lap ahead of this race, 34 laps of the Hockenheim Ring here in Germany. And I'm glad to say the weather is looking quite nice. A lot better than qualifying anyway, so no signs of rain. I haven't seen the forecast, so I don't get access to that. So I don't know whether it's due to rain. There are a few clouds in the air, but at the moment it's looking set fair with Jaralam in the Red Bull on pole position, as you can see there. Behind him is PPK. Then we have WJ-AOR. In fourth place is King Fo Mikasa in the Haas. Then we've got Danio. Mr. Robin is 6th. Then High Ground. Chris, 8th. 9th place for Nick. Sean is 10th. 11th in the Sauber is Salvo Filer. And 12th is Lamaro, with Kronos 13th, Jason 14th, and Rama 15th. So the guys just warming up their tyres. Jaralam will have quite a long way to wait, because he's nearly at his grid spot already. Rama was just coming through the Sachs curve just then. So, top guys on Ultras. Let's just have a look at the tyres. So King Fo Mikasa looks like in a good position, because he managed to qualify 4th on the softs. High Ground is also in that position. Chris has gone for medium, so that explains partly why he was down in 8th. So a lot of different tyre strategies. 5 lights are ready to come on, and the 34 lap German Grand Prix in F9 will be go. Long hold, and they're off, and looks like a fairly even start. A Haas coming up the inside there. Are there going to be any collisions into turn 1? A lot of guys run wide, but so far fairly clean at the front. Whoa, big crash, both Renaults out, and the Force India. Wow, my goodness, both Renaults are out. And is that Danio? Yes, Danio, who's got unfortunate records having the most DNFs, is out. I think one of the Renaults has kept going. Lamaro's got a 5-second stop go penalty, so PPK is going, but WJ-AOR and Danio are out of the race. Wow, I didn't see exactly how that came about, but that's a shame, because they got through turn 1 fine on their own. I wonder if there'll be a safety car or not. So Jaralam leads. Mr. Robin is 2nd. The other Haas of King Fo Mikasa is 3rd, and Nick, who's come up brilliantly, is up to 4th, and Lamaro tries to go up the inside and makes it stick of Nick's. So it's absolutely incredible action already on the first lap. Lamaro through in 4th. Behind him is High Ground, then Nick. Behind him is Sean, who's well up in 7th. So PPK is still running. Danio is actually still running, so he's not out of the race. WJ-AOR is the only one that's crashed. Has something's happened here? Something happened with Jason, I believe. There's poor Danio coming in with his damaged wing. So, the end of the first lap. Jaralam has got a good lead over Mr. Robin, King Fo Mikasa. In 4th place is Lamaro. 5th is High Ground. 6th is Nick. 7th is Sean. Kronos is 8th as he locks up his tyres into turn 3. Rama is 9th. Salvo Filer rounds out your top 10. Back at the front, King Fo Mikasa, very close to his teammate Mr. Robin. Mr. Robin on the ultra softs, but King Fo Mikasa on the slower tyre looks to be the quicker driver at the moment. It blasts through this flat out right-handed turn 7. Lamar is beginning to pull away a little bit from High Ground, but Jaralam is absolutely in the box seat. There's a yellow flag somewhere. Oh my goodness, Jaralam went off. I'm sorry, I missed that. So he's down to 3rd, and he's run wide again. Has he got any damage? I can't see any damage at the moment. Locks up his tyres. Lamar is right up his gearbox. So a mistake there from the race leader, who was pulling out a decent gap. And now Lamaro will try and close on him, but actually High Ground's got a great exit. The two Hasses go through turn 1, 1st and 2nd. Then Jaralam, Lamaro, High Ground, and Nick. Lamaro ahead of Jaralam now. So he's made that move stick, and Nick's trying to go through on high ground. There's action wherever you look, but at the front, King Fo Mikasa and Mr. Robin go side by side. King Fo Mikasa is in the lead. He's taken that position despite being on the slower tyres. Further back, Limaro, high ground, Nick. They all go, and Jaralam is losing spots all the way, so I wonder if he has got damage. Which is, oh, well, they went off there on the right hand side. High ground is held 5th, but for a minute I thought they were going to crash again. Let's stick with Jaralam now. Riding on board into the stadium section, coming up to the Sachs curve in 6th. Meanwhile, Kronos, oh, Sean's had a problem. Sean has gone off. Crash for Sean then. Back to the front though. King Fo Mikasa's got a good lead now over Mr. Robin, who's got Limaro catching him quite strongly. And this is the battle for second. Limaro, joint second in the championship, took advantage of some of that mayhem and got a good start himself, and has moved up from his loaded grid position, is now in 3rd. And I think we'll have designs on the victory here. Now he's got a good exit, he's got DRS, he's already passed him. So DRS is very powerful here, and he might have a very slippery setup as well. So he's made that move stick. Meanwhile, high ground and Nick go into the hairpin together. Nick's got that position, so he's up to 4th. So Mr. Robin in 3rd place. 5-second stop go penalty for Sean. Mr. Robin's 5th in the championship on 75 points. He has got 1 win though. His only podium finish of the year. So while things have settled down a little bit, let's go back to the front. So King Fo Mikasa leads. His lead is now 2.2 seconds. And these guys that were on Ultra Softs, and King Fo is not one of them, will probably be looking to come into the pits in the next 5 laps or so, as Nick has got past Mr. Robin. King Fo Mikasa has set the fastest lap, so I thought Limaro would start catching him, but actually Mo is doing well so far. And there's some more movements down there. Who's going down? Mr. Robin is into the pits, so he's changed already. He's going a 1-stopper onto mediums, so a very early stop for him. We'll have to see whether that pays off or not. So back at the front, King Fo leads from Limaro, Nick, and these beginning to get strung out a little bit. High ground is in 4th. Jaralam is still in the race in 5th. Rama is 6th. Oh, Kronos close to Rama there, the new Ferrari driver. Rama, the American driver, who's 9th in the championship. 3 podiums so far, yet to win though. Chris and Jason are battling. Chris has got past Jason there, so Chris is up to 8th. 2nd in the championship with 5 podiums and 1 win so far this year. So the closest battles for leading positions we have are Nick and Limaro, and Nick's got past him. So Limaro got into trouble, I think, out of turn 17. He set the fastest lap, so the cream rising to the top here as the championship leader takes 2nd place. Further down, is that a pit stop change? Yes, it is. Jaralam's in the pits. Let's just see what compound he changes on to. He's changing his nose, so okay, that explains it. He must have got slight damage when he lost it out of turn 10, I think. So that's affected his speed, and he's going to rejoin on the soft tyres in 11th place. Meanwhile, Limaro is not giving up the battle with Nick. He is right there. We ride with him up to turn 8, Mercedes corner. 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th. Hold it in tight. Yellow flag somewhere. Into the stadium section. So easy to run wide here onto the gravel. Unlike a lot of modern circuits, there's gravel rather than runoff. As Sean runs wide, and Limaro was definitely distracted by that. Sean trying to get out the way, but Limaro was definitely distracted, and Nick's really gained some time out of that. So Nick's job now is to try and hunt down King Foam Mikasa. The gap is 3 seconds. Nothing too close in terms of battles further down the field. So we've lost one driver in that crash. I didn't catch it early enough to see really whether anyone was to blame between Danio, PPK and WJOR. But that's never a good thing for teammates to come together. PPK is at least still running. But he's some way behind, even 12th place. As there's a change there, Jaralam. Oh no, it's a pit stop change as Salvo Filer comes into the pits. Let's see what tyres he's going to leave on. Can I see that? Yeah, it's the white Mark tyre medium. So he'll definitely go through to the end of the race now. So it's definitely settled down a bit. Closest battle is probably High Ground, who's actually hanging on to Lamaro really well. High Ground in 10th place of the championship, the British driver on 41 points. His best finishing position is 5th, twice, as Sean gets another penalty. Now PPK, I believe, is ghosted. Yeah, okay, so unless that's WJ or I don't know, I presume that's PPK that's ghosted. So he's going, but he's not being controlled by a human, certainly at this stage anyway. So yeah, High Ground, best position so far is 5th, so he's on course to better that. 5 second stop go penalty for ignoring yellow flags for Jaralam. So his race goes from bad to worse. But we're focusing on this battle between Lamaro and High Ground. Now since Lamaro was held up there accidentally by Sean, distracted by Sean I think is probably a better phrase, he's not really closed back up to the back of Nick. And we've got this strange glitch where the onboard camera, if you can hear that, is just like it's revving in top gear. So that's a sound mistake of the game. So we'll come off that shot. Excuse me. So lap 9 and High Ground. Now he's on softs, so he won't be needing to make a pit stop just yet. He's within half a second, but doesn't seem to be able to get any closer. But this is the time we've got to really hit your apexes spot on, because you're going to get a big advantage from DRS. Looking at Lamaro then. Is High Ground close enough to make a move into the hairpin? No. Thinks about it. He's not quite close enough. Oh, but he takes a tighter line. Is this going to enable him to come up the inside into the turn 7? No, you have to be committed alongside someone to make it stick there. Some more yellow flags going on, but no position changes that I can see. But we're sticking in this battle for 3rd. Meanwhile, Nick is, well, closing ever so slightly on King Foam Mikasa. The gap was around 3. It's now 2.7, but they're running at a similar pace at the moment. But it'll be interesting to see which of these two guys will go for their first pit stop first. Starting on the softs, I suspect they'll go to mediums. Lamaro, of course, tried to qualify on the ultra softs, but because he ended up outside the top 10, it's enabled him to go for what I think is his preferred strategy. 3 second time penalty for Salvo Filer. Multiple warnings, corner cutting, that's possibly at turn 1. Now he's in a much better position now. High Ground goes to the outside as Jaralam sets the fastest lap. Lamaro covers the inside well. 2 good clean races, and this is as close as High Ground's ever been to Lamaro in the last few laps. Up to Mercedes, going to make the move. No, it's half-hearted. Probably sensible to back out of that one. But Lamaro knows that High Ground looks to be quicker as Jaralam has retired from the session. Now, whether that's a connection issue or he's crashed somewhere, I don't think we can still see his car. No. So I was concentrating on that battle, so I didn't catch that. So the guy that took pole position is now out of the race. Danio moves up, of course, because he's takes over Jaralam's spot. Let's have a look at this battle a bit further down then. Mr. Robin in the Haas. Oh, we've got virtual safety car. Beg your pardon. So that's probably for Jaralam's parked Red Bull, wherever it is. We might see it turn up on the side of the track. So, virtual safety car. Now, if some of these guys are bright, as Chris is, they're going to come and make their pit stop, because you can gain under the virtual safety car, because you don't have to go as slow while you're coming into the pits and out of the pits. There is a speed limit in the pits, of course, but as we saw with Sebastian Vettel overtaking Hamilton in the Australian Grand Prix this year, virtual safety car can be a big advantage if you can pit during it. So Chris goes out on softs, but everybody else should stay similar, but you can gain some advantage if you can react to the virtual safety car going green, which it already has. So how's that shaken out with the top three? Well, Nick's lost out there. He's now 4 seconds behind King Fomakasa. Limaro is there, and he's coming to the pits, and I think the virtual safety car just came at the wrong point for him. So he's in the pits. Limaro, we ride with him. He's going to go from the soft tyres. Oh no, this must be a stop-go penalty. 5-second penalty. Now the guys can work on the car, and on go the mediums. And there's still a delay, and he's off. So that's really ruined his race in terms of a top 3 position, I'd say. So we've got Danio gets a 3-second time penalty. Whoa, someone's gone off. It's Danio, and he's crashed. And he nearly gets in one of the Sauber's way there. So Danio, as I said, good guy, 13th of the championship, quick racer. Unfortunately has 5 DNFs so far this season. Has finished 4th on 2 occasions, but I don't think that's going to happen in this race. So let's work our way back up through the field. Salvo Filer is 10th. In 9th place is Chris, joint 2nd in the championship in the Williams. In 8th place is Jason, doing a steady job in midfield as he always tends to do. Mr. Robin there is 7th, and he's right up behind Limaro. Meanwhile, King Fomakasa still leads from Nick and high ground. Rama's well up there in 4th ahead of Kronos, but I think they're maybe 1 stop behind some of these guys. So 54% full throttle this lap at the Hockenheim Ring. Fairly medium downforce circuit, but you need small enough wings to take advantage of the DRS down that big back straight. So cross the line for the start of lap 13. Mr. Robin is the closest to Limaro of anybody, although Danio is now close to Salvo Filer. Here he is. Let's ride on board and see how Danio takes this track. Through 15, 16, ooh, got out shaped there. Through the last corner. Let's ride on board with him for a little while. Into turn 1, so difficult to get the turning point just right. Oh, he's nearly lost it. He had to stand on the brakes there to stop himself spinning into the wall on the right hand side. So that battle is over with for now anyway. Back with Mr. Robin in the Haas, approaching the stadium section. Mr. Robin has got 1 win so far this year, and that was in Baku in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Lying 5th in the championship, Jarrell and Brex has left the session. Meanwhile, let's take stock of the front. Still 20 odd laps or so this race to go. It certainly has settled down. King Fomakasa, also known as Mo, leads. He's now got a 3.9 second gap over Nick, and these two at the front are running pretty similar pace. Chris has gone fastest then on a 1:16.125. And looking at the pit stops, you can see Lamar is the highest placed guy that's stopped already. High Ground doing an excellent job in the Toro Rosso in third. Rama some way behind, 19 seconds behind High Ground in fourth. Then we've got Kronos in fifth. Limaro in sixth. Seventh, Mr. Robin. Eighth, Jason. Ninth, Chris. Sourfied is 10th. 11th, Daniel. PPK. Is he ghosted? Can I see through him there? No, I don't think so. So maybe I was looking at WJ AOR before. Oh, he might be, you know. Not sure, but anyway, he's way behind. No, I think he's. I don't think he's under control. I think that's AR controlled. So back at the front, let's ride for a little bit with the leader and just see how he is taking this 2.8 mile circuit. 12 miles from Heidelberg, this circuit. Most famous obviously is the location, not on this configuration, where sadly Jim Clark lost his life in the late 60s. Been on and off the calendar since 2002. Been sharing the German Grand Prix with Nürburgring, though was back on it this year and will be, I believe, next year. So into the pits comes the race leader. He's on soft tyres at the moment. I'm presuming he will make a stop to the white tyre mediums. Yeah, there they go, magically on. Oh, brilliant, that's good. So I think he's still going, is he? Yes, he is. That was just a glitch of the picture. So King Fo Mikasa teleports Star Trek style back onto the circuit. And he's got his lead intact because Nick and High Ground also made pit stops at the same time. So that top three looks fairly well set at the moment. They've all made their pit stops. Kronos is the highest placed driver yet to stop. And Mr. Robin is coming up past Rama, who's of course making his first pit stop. Let's see, I guess he's on mediums. Yeah, so most of these guys at this stage are going to go on to mediums, I think, to get to the end of the race. Jason's in the pits, he also goes on to mediums, so he's going to rejoin in 9th. Yes, because Danny is far too far behind him. So quite consistent gaps of sort of 3 to 7, 8 seconds between a lot of the guys at the front. So in terms of the championship, King Fo Mikasa is actually 11th place in the championship on 30 points. His best result is 4th. So if he can hold this, he's going to zoom up the championship a fair few positions, and it'll be his first podium. Nick, though, perfect result for him for the championship. His two nearest rivals, Limaro and Chris, are down in 5th and 8th. And once again, he's showing that he's quick, but also a very good racer, consistent. For a guy that's leading the championship by such a big amount, as Lamaro takes over Kronos, who comes into the pits. Let's see him leave the pits. Yeah, I was saying that Nick's got 2 pole positions and 4 wins. So he's quick in qualifying, but he's not blasting everyone away, but he's just extremely consistent in the race. So Kronos is going to rejoin in 7th. So everybody that's still running has made their pit stops. And if we go to look at what tyres they're on, we can probably discern, if I can work it out, whether anybody may have to make another stop. Chris won't. He's on. So the top 7 are all on mediums. The first guy not on mediums is Chris, but I'm pretty sure he started on the mediums, so he's on soft. So he'll go to the end. Possibly, will he? Will he make another stop? I don't know. I don't think so. And PPK, who we believe is ghosted, is also on soft. So pretty much, apart from the question mark over whether Chris needs to stop again, everybody will be able to go to the end. So these guys are genuinely racing. It'd be nice if they were a little bit closer together, to be honest. But we could have a battle brewing, because remember, around the times of the pit stops, King Fo Mikasa had a lead of around 4 seconds after that virtual safety car. Well, Nick has got that down to 2.7. So we're going to stick with him for a while. It's, apart from Kronos and Rama, the closest battle we've got on the field. And let's see if we can monitor this gap. So 2.2 seconds. We're going to ride on board with him. See the gap to the leader there, 3.1. What else can we bring up? Let's bring up his telemetry. Let's bring up his sector time. So, into the Sachs curve. No danger of him doing a Vettel today. No rain. Smooth driver, Nick. Doesn't wring the car's neck if he doesn't need to. So he's going to cross the line. What's his time going to be? 1:16.3. And the gap is 2.5 seconds. So down to Einfahrt. Love that name. Through turn 3. And this is supposed to be 4. And then 5 is apparently this Parabolica, sorry. And that's a tantalising gap because you can see King Fomikasa just ahead of him. And there's a change of position there. Oh no, Mr. Robbins. So Mr. Robbins come into the pits. Has he got damage or was this another... Oh, he's going on to the softs. Okay. Interesting. So maybe the strategy is a little bit more interesting than I thought. So he will rejoin in 8th, but he's still in the points and he's going to be on the quick soft tyres. Meanwhile, back at the front, Nick is really closing down. He's had a very good first and second sector to this lap. The gap is now 1.5 seconds. And his tyres are 4 laps old. King Fomikasa's is 3 laps old. And Nick's done the fastest lap. Oh, 3-second time penalty for King Fomikasa. Well, that is potentially race changing. Because at the moment, that means as long as I haven't missed that Nick's got a penalty, then that will mean that King Fomikasa is actually in second place. So Nick doesn't, as it stands, need to overtake him on the track. Now, I'm sure he would have seen that message pop up as well. But it's whether he thinks he wants to just get by anyway on the track. So that's a shame for Mo. But as I said, Mo's not got a podium yet. So any result in the top 3 would be a great achievement for him. So that's my dog making a noise there in the background, dreaming. So I'm going to stick on board with Nick because I'll be intrigued to see his approach as to whether A, he's seen that message. I know when I was driving this league, I'm sure I didn't take in every message about penalties that were in the bottom left of my screen all the time. But maybe that's what separates him from me. He's probably taken that information in as well. So the gap is now around 2 seconds. Is this Nick backing off or is this just how this lap has gone? Okay, so that one's stabilised a bit, so we'll go back to high ground. Give him some air time in third. He's just done a 1:16.3. And he's 8 seconds behind. Now, he's going to have to go some to take advantage of King Fomikasa's penalty. He's nowhere near it at the moment. But nevertheless, it's a very good position for him. His best is 5th, as I said, on 2 occasions. So this could be his first podium. So we're looking at 2 new guys on the podium as it stands. Lamaro, very solid race from him in 4th place. But I know he thinks that the championship is probably a long shot anyway. Not particularly good result for the championship, but in itself, 4th place from where he started on the grid in 12th is a very good result. Rama is a long, long way behind in 5th, and then another 37 seconds behind. Oh no, that's the gap to the leader, sorry, I beg your pardon. So let's get that onto the genuine gap interval. There you go, that's much better. I was thinking there's 30-second gaps between everybody. So you can see that the closest battle is still Nick to King Fomikasa. Now it's interesting that Nick has dropped back a little bit. It's 2.7 seconds, so King Fomikasa is nearly back in the lead with that 3-second time penalty, if as I say, I haven't missed the penalty for Nick, which is possible. So Nick will really have to just step on it just a little bit, otherwise he's going to lose that advantage. Now, is this the ghosted PPK ahead of him? Or is it another car that he's going to lap? No, it's Salvo Filer. So let's see if the other Sauber driver, yes, he does, his teammate. Beautifully out of the way there. Very good spot. No time whatsoever lost for Nick. So he can go ahead and try and close that gap down to Mo. So in this modern configuration, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso share top spot with 3 wins each. There's been 11 races since 2002. And it's a circuit that I've not raced on that much. I don't know, it's kind of a medium one for me. It's got some enjoyable bits, but some bits that I found a bit too fiddly. This turn 1 I can never get right. Good job I'm not driving anymore. So Nick makes it stick quite well through the apex. And what are we watching here? Jason, was there a change of position? No. Oh look, Daniel UK's just come out of the pits. And actually no, that's some high ground lapping him. I was getting excited there. There was an actual battle on the track. So we're going to go in reverse order and just give everyone a bit of screen time. Yeah, you can see, look, like PPK looks like he's kind of half floating off the ground. So he's in 12th. But I'm not sure that he's actually a real driver. 11th place is Danio. Have we got... Oh, I thought he was going slow there. I thought we had a virtual safety car. We haven't. Salvo Filer is 10th. Then we've got Jason the Rebel in 9th. Mr. Robin is 8th. And his extra stop to go onto softs at the moment, that's not paying off. So he's got 11 seconds to make up a position. I mean, 8th isn't bad in itself, but he was a lot higher up earlier in the race. Chris is there in 7th. Locks his brakes down to the hairpin at turn 6. Kronos, the new driver, with that distinctive yellowy, goldy, orangey, what is it? Yeah, gold colour helmet. In 6th place. Change of position. Salvo Filer's come into the pits now. Is this going to be for ultra softs, I wonder? 10 laps to go. Potentially it could be. No, he's gone to softs. So I think he's going to struggle to get any points from that position. But let's have a look at the stops. So that's Salvo Filer's second stop. So everyone's doing 1 stop at the front at the moment. Mr. Robin is the highest placed guy on 2 stops. But just to recap, going through the field, 5th place is Rama in the McLaren. 58 points, 9th in the championship is the American. Then Lamar in 4th. High Ground in 3rd. And Danio is... Okay, Danio is all over the back of High Ground. Now he's entitled... Well, he's in a Force India, so he might do an Ocon on Verstappen. He's entitled to try and unlap himself. But I'd be a bit twitchy if I was High Ground. And I think if I was him, I'd let him through. Let's see how this develops. It's not a battle for position, but it could end in tears. Hopefully not. So, I don't know. It depends if High Ground is just easing it to try and get a podium. If he is, then he might as well let Danio through, because Danio looks like he looks a bit racy. He's in 10th place. He's 17 seconds behind Jason though, so I'm not sure there's that much point in him being too aggressive behind the guy that's in 3rd place. Salvo Filer gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. Yeah, I mean, Danio is fair play. He's pushing on. Not sure if he's got really that much to gain. That High Ground's not letting him through. He doesn't have to. But I would be getting nervous in this position with a guy behind who looks to be quicker. Oh my goodness, Nick has got a 3-second time penalty. That is absolutely crucial. So if I'm right, if F1 spelt backwards, if I'm right, then Nick and King Fermacasa both have 3-second time penalties, which will cancel each other out. So Mo now looks like he is on, maybe for the win. We've got about 9 laps to go as Kronos gets a 3-second time penalty. But I want to see what's happening with High Ground and Danio. Has Danio backed off? Yeah, I think he's... Unless there's an obvious opportunity, he's not going to interfere with High Ground. That's good stuff. So we've got a battle though here though with Chris on the quicker soft tyres chasing down Kronos in the Ferrari on the medium tyres. So this is a battle for 6th place as Chris comes into the pits. Well, I didn't expect that. It's his second pit stop though, so fair enough. But I'm sure he started on mediums, so I'm surprised he's 2-stopping. But let's see, he's going to go, surely he's going to go onto the ultras. Yes he is. Okay, so he's going to go on the ultras. Mr. Robin overtakes him, and then he'll try and be super quick in these last 8 laps, and maybe, well, I'm sure he'll get past Mr. Robin potentially, but I can't see him even making up the time on Kronos in the time we've got available, unless Kronos makes a mistake. Meanwhile at the front, Nick is still 3.2 seconds. As I said, I believe they've both got penalties, but that does mean that High Ground, well no, he's still 3 seconds effectively behind Nick if he hasn't got a penalty. So I think High Ground will probably still finish 3rd unless the guys in front get more penalties. So 2nd place is absolutely fine for Nick for the championship. Could we have yet another winner? 6 different winners so far this year. Nick in Australia, Spain, Monaco and Austria. We've got Namaru won in Bahrain, Chris won in Canada, PPK won in France and Britain, WJ all won in China, and Mr. Robin won in Baku, as we mentioned earlier. So Nick's got that gap down to 2.3 seconds. Now if he's got anything left, he's going to know, I'm sure, that he's got a penalty, even if he doesn't know that Kingfo Macassa's got one. So he's got to just try and give everything he's got. Let's see how Kingfo Macassa's going up front. And let's run on board with him. Cross the line, lap 28. Done a 1:16.4. He's doing quite consistent lap times, I think, in the low 1:16s. No close battles anywhere else. This is the closest one on the track. See his hand just moved there to initiate DRS. Up to 8th gear. Will he get over 200 miles an hour? No, he doesn't. Down the gears, locks up, takes the apex nicely. Ooh, short shifts to 4th very quickly. Through 7th, flat out, up to turn 8. Down the gears, down to 3rd. Nicely taken. Get yourself over the left hand side. Grab the curb there, a little bit wide, but not too bad. 6th, 7th. Down only 1 gear to 6th. And then a hard braking for the Sachs curve. 3rd, will he knock it into 2nd? He won't. Chris has done the fastest lap. Yeah, well, he's on those ultra soft tyres, isn't he? So we'll just see Mo finish the lap. Crosses the line, 1:15.8. So a quicker lap from him. So let's go back to 8th and run on board with the guy who's the quickest on the circuit. He's the one on ultras. Let's see if anyone else is on ultras. Don't believe they are. No, he's the only one. So the top 6 are on mediums, and we've got Mr. Robin on softs and then Chris on ultra softs. So I will just keep an eye out on my left hand side of the gap for 1st and 2nd. But I think those guys' penalties are going to cancel each other out, so that should be the order if neither of them make a mistake. But this is Chris trying to get back 7th from Mr. Robin. You remember before he made his 2nd stop, he was battling with Kronos. So he's going to end up somewhere around Kronos, I imagine. You can see, look how he's closed this gap already. The gap's down to 1 second. We'll try and ride on board with him as he tries to make this move. I think he'll do it in the next lap. Nicely taken through turn 1 there. Got much better exit speed there than Mr. Robin. There's just so much more grips on these ultra softs. Mr. Robin's running 10 lap old soft tyres. Namara gets a 3-second time penalty. Now he's in the slipstream, 8th gear. Mr. Robin, I don't think he's going to be able to do anything about it. No, he doesn't. And Chris goes through, and now he'll try Can he gain 8.7 seconds in the last 4.5 laps? I doubt it, but he's going to be quick. Maybe he'll give it a go. Meanwhile, at the front, Nick is now only 1.7 seconds behind. That penalty for Lamaro won't, I don't believe, affect the standings. Rama's certainly too far behind to take advantage at the moment. So this race is rapidly heading towards its conclusion, and we still don't know who's going to win this race. We believe this will be a battle on the track that will decide it, with both guys with one penalty. Into the stadium section goes Nick. Now, has he been maybe looking after these tyres? They're only 1 lap older than Mo, so tyre wear shouldn't be an issue between these two. But I must say, Mo's speed has been superb. He's pretty much matched Nick in these stints overall. Crosses line 1:15.851 for Nick. And I'm sure when he goes down this straight he'll be using maximum ERS. Not close enough for DRS yet, 1.6 seconds behind. We'll just have a quick look at that. And there's another car in front of Daniel, but that's going to be High Ground. Oh dear, High Ground still got Daniel behind him. Oh, High Ground is fair enough, but I would just pull over and let these guys through. You want to secure your first podium, but he doesn't have to, that's fine. Okay, nothing's happening at the moment with these two, so let's go back to the battle for the lead. And that gap's still holding at about 1.5. It looks like Nick can get to just over a second. Daniel gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. So Nick crosses the line. The gap's gone back out now to nearly 2 seconds. A little bit twitchy on the exit, but you can take quite a lot of curb as long as you don't run all 4 wheels across the circuit. So we go off board. So we're into the last 3 laps of this race before we get through to the hopefully tense battle at the end between the top 2. Let's just go in reverse order. PPK, who I think's ghosted, is in 12th. Oops, wrong way. Salvo File is 11th. Then we've got Jason in 10th place in the Red Bull. 9th is, oh look, Daniel's got past High Ground. I hope that was a clean move, I'm sure it was. 8th place, Mr. Robin. 7th place is Chris. Now look, he is catching Kronos. I think he's going to do it. He was 9 seconds behind about 3 laps ago, and he's now 2 seconds behind. We'll go back to that in a moment. 6th there is Kronos in the Ferrari. 5th is Ram in the McLaren. Then we've got Lamaro in 4th. High Ground in 3rd. Nick in 2nd. And obviously Mo, King Fu Mikasa in the lead. So, penultimate lap for these two. Now, Chris keeping on time gap from him to Kronos. It's still over the DRS 1 second mark. 1.4 though. Not far off as we ride looking through the halo with King Fu Mikasa. Nick, I think, is probably content to stay where he is at the moment. I don't think he's quite got the speed over Mo to make that move anytime soon. Although if he gets in DRS range on the last lap, this could be interesting. Let's go back while we wait for that last lap to happen. Back to Chris. And look, Kronos has run, maybe got into trouble putting the power down out of that Sachs curve. And Chris had to, I think, slow down to avoid going to the back of him. But now Chris is in a great position as these two start their penultimate lap. I'm keeping an eye on that gap at the front. But at the moment, this looks like a genuine pass. Could well happen. Chris doesn't go for it into turn 2. And I think this is going to be an absolute slam dunk. Quicker tyres, DRS. Yeah, he's going to go up the inside. I'll be surprised if Kronos even bothers to fight him in the braking zone. No point in that. So that battle is done. Chris is up to 6th. So this is it. Lap 34 of 34. This is King Fomakasa and Nick. And look, Nick just outside the DRS range. 1.1, so he hasn't got DRS. And that is probably that if King Fomakasa doesn't make a mistake. And this is where I really hope that one of them has got an extra penalty that I missed. Otherwise, I'm reading this completely wrong. We'll soon see. Half a lap to go through turn 7. Let's go and give Mo the glory at the front. I believe he's about to win his first race. Nick is closing him down, but I'm sure Mo's just being extra careful in his braking points and his turn-ins. Make sure he doesn't make a mistake. Small lock-up on the left front there, but nothing too bad. So Nick will retain, in fact, extend his championship lead. But I believe, if I haven't spoken too soon, that King Fomakasa is going to take his first win of the season. Yeah, wiggles his car, he crosses the line, he wins for Haas. Brilliant performance. First podium in a win, just like Maldonado. Great stuff. So Nick's in second place, brilliant for his championship battle. High Ground now is going to get his first podium. Really good, solid, quick, consistent race from him. Yeah, wiggles his car as well. He's pleased with that one. Fourth place will be Lamaro. I don't know how we feel about that, Lamaro. He's got to be pleased from 12th to 4th. That's a good result. Salvo Filer and Rama have got late penalties, but I don't think that's going to affect, unless Rama's got a lot more penalties, Rama's position of 5th. So we're going to watch him come in. Let's ride on board with him. Through the last corner he goes, and Rama's going to be 5th. Or is he going to be classified 6th? Let's see. Any penalties to deal with here? No, Chris will finish 6th. Kronos will come across 7th. The last man over will be Mr. Robin, 8th behind the ghosted PPK. So, well, I think there have been better races. It was certainly interesting in the first part of the race. It was pretty quiet from about lap 10, but memorable for two guys getting their first podiums of the season there. Mo in the Haas, winning. Something's never changed though. Nick is on the podium in second place and will extend his championship lead by another 13 points, I believe, over Lamaro. So the gap will be, I think, 74 points. So he really is looking, at this stage of the season, unstoppable. Just wait for the final standings to come up. There you go. So King Fomakasa won from Nick. High Ground. See all the penalties on the right hand side. Lamaro, Rama, Chris, Mr. Robin, Kronos, Danio, Jason, Salvo Filer, PPK, Jaralam, Sean and WJ. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. I hope to be back, fingers crossed, next weekend for round 12 of the championship from Budapest, just outside Budapest, for the Hungarian Grand Prix. In the meantime, have a good week and thanks for watching.